The number one reason why agents fail at any brokerage is because they don't plug in. Today, we're going to talk about how to be successful at LPT Realty and parentheses, how to be successful in any brokerage. My name is AJ Ackerman.
I'm Mark Ammons.
And we are Elevated Agents.
How many times in life have you heard you get what you pay for? You know, it's kind of funny because a lot of people forget that you're paying to be a part of whatever brokerage it is that you're a part of. Some brokerages are probably a little bit better deal than others, but at the end of the day, you're getting what you're paying for. And so you need to take advantage of the things that you're actually paying for. And so today we want to talk about some of the reasons that one of the big reasons that we see agents fail at any brokerage. So we want to talk about why we're seeing agents fail and how you can potentially avoid that. And the biggest thing is just plugging into the systems and tools and resources that are made available to you for free. You know, I feel like we live in this world, particularly in real estate, where there's always a new shiny object. There's always a squirrel to chase, and there's always someone trying to convince you that you need to take this course or download this or become a part of this. And all of these things we look at that are extra things for us to spend money on, yet so many of us don't take advantage of all the free things that our brokerage provides, that if we just did that, we could probably save ourselves thousands of dollars a year and actually end up being more successful. So we want to spend a little bit of time talking specifically about LPT Realty, about how you can plug in, how you can get engaged, and how you can make sure that you're getting the most out of the brokerage. But understand that this applies to whatever brokerage that you're at, whether that's a local boutique brokerage, another cloud-based brokerage, whatever it is, wherever you are, I can guarantee there's probably more that you can do in order to actually plug into the things that are available to you. So, you know, AJ, I'm assuming you've seen the same kind of thing where we see agents that will partner with us or other agents in the brokerage. And after a few months, we kind of see them start to disengage, and then inevitably some of them leave, and then we start kind of hearing complaints about things going on. And so we want to kind of address that early on, because we see a trend with the agents who end up either leaving our brokerage, other brokerages, and the very common trend is that they're simply not plugging in and engaging with what's being provided to them.
Yeah, I think the first thing is personal responsibility. You know, I think unfortunately we live in a society where we want that instant gratification, or we think by switching brokerages, that's going to be the answer for us to be successful, where the broker is definitely part of helping you grow your business, but ultimately it's up to you. And unfortunately, I think the education, people don't prepare people for making a change. People don't prepare people to how to take advantage of a brokerage. And I think that's one of the things I want to make sure we do today is really explain some of the benefits of LPT. But I've had now, I've been at 4 brokerages. Century 21 was the first one. Then I owned my own brokerage for 3 years. Then I was at EXP, and then I was at LPT. All 4 of those brokerages, I remember people leaving because they didn't plug in, because they didn't take advantage of the community, of the systems, of the things that were being provided to them. One thing we tell people before they join LPT is like, listen, this needs to be a good fit for you. This needs to be something you're excited about. You need to be excited about old school being new school, right? You need to be excited about marketing your business. You need to be excited about the listing power pack. You need to be excited about the people you're surrounding yourself with. And if you don't plug in, then you're never going to be excited. You might as well open up your own brokerage, or you might as well just go sit in your office, do what you need to do, and call it a day. But the thing is that I realize is that the faster you want to grow fast, then grow by being supported by other people, by being inspired by other people. There are systems and communities in place to help you grow, to inspire you. But then you have to take that inspiration and create perspiration, right? You got to go out and take
That was really good,
action.
By the way. I've never heard you say that. I like that. Take your inspiration, turn it into perspiration.
I know. It actually took me, it was a little hard to say perspiration, to be honest with you. I was like, prescription? What is the word? Yes, I do not have a college degree. And so basically, like, the idea is that When you come into a company, one, you have to plug in, but you have to make sure you understand there is a time to this, okay? Real estate is front end loaded. When you go to a new company, there's gonna be a time period that you're gonna have to acclimate. You're gonna have to learn the systems. You're gonna have to grow. You're gonna have to change habits. And unfortunately, a lot of people just aren't patient enough to do that. When you make a decision to switch, one, maybe you shouldn't even switch companies. Like, let's just get to that. Have you taken advantage of all the systems that you're at? Listen, EXP has some great systems. They have some great tools. They have great community for people to plug in. Listen, there was a lot of that I didn't plug in when I was there, and I should have, right? It's the same with every company. Century 21, the own brokerage I have. Listen, there are a lot of things for you to plug in. The question is, do you actually have faith? Do you actually believe in those systems? Are you willing to take the leap of faith and give it a shot and really, again, plug in for 6 months, for 12 months? Give it the opportunity that it needs, but you have to plug in. So let's start with LPT Realty. Let's imagine for a second that you're brand new to LPT Realty. Doesn't matter what level you're at. You're a brand new agent or you're an experienced agent. What you can do is, one, the onboarding process is great. They send you an email with all of your logins, and part of that, they send you a link to their Facebook group, right? So are you joining the groups where all of the experienced people are, where they're adding value, they're asking questions, right? We have a Facebook group called LPT Agents that only LPT agents can be a part of. Plus, the other cool thing is we have cross downline cooperation. So for instance, we have a Facebook group called Elevated Agents. Any agent from any company can join us. You can actually plug into our community right now, no matter where you're at. And we're on there adding value. We're answering questions. Plugging in means that you, not only do you join it, listen, we have I'll just give you an example. There's 650 people, I think, in Elevated Agents as of today, somewhere around there. And literally about 30 to 100 actually participate. Now that's fine. That's cool. That's their option. But look how many people were like, yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to join. And then they don't ever do anything with it. See, the problem is you talk yourself out of things all the time. You got to remember that initial excitement, that initial enthusiasm. So at LPT Realty, right, we've got our Monday motivation. This is a 30-minute to 45-minute call that Robert Palmer himself goes on every Monday and shares with us what's going on in the market. What's his insight? What's happening with LPT Realty? To give you an example, this Monday, he announced our August listing blitz, right? He basically announced a whole program where they're adding more massive value if you get a listing, free professional photography, more marketing, digital marketing, prospecting packs. Like literally, I can go on and on. But if you weren't plugged into that, how would you know that that was happening? How would you be learning more about the market? He talked about why the market is soft right now because of the high interest rates. And because why would somebody sell their house when they're at a 2.5% interest rate when there's 7% out there? So plugging into the experts in your company is really important. And that's only 30, 45 minutes. Like literally that 30, 45 minutes is extremely valuable, right? I don't know if you want to add anything because I could literally sit here and go on and on and on, but are you plugging in to the company that you believe in, right? EXP had a workplace, right? It's their own private Facebook group. It's where a lot of things happen. They have groups for different groups for different groups. It is a great place to plug in. But once again, 90,000 agents, I don't know how many agents they have right now, but how many are actually plugging in? And why are so many people leaving their companies? Listen, if you're leaving company, if you've left, if this is your third, fourth, fifth company, like within 2 years, it's not the company, friend. It's you. And it's because you're not plugging in. Plug in, get involved, make friends, have connections, learn from others, share your thoughts. This is such an important part of real estate, but you have to also take action, right? There's this whole concept of learn, create, and share. Learn the systems, learn the tools. One of the things that Mark did was he actually memorized Robert's complete presentation of explaining the book. And I want him to talk about that, right? There are tools and lessons and things, but then once you learn, you got to go into create mode. Like right now, what are we doing? We're creating. We're creating content. We're creating energy. We're creating excitement. We're creating. And then we share it. And then what do? After we share it, we post it, we get comments, we learn, we see the analytics aspects, and then we learn from what we've shared, and then we grow through that process. Learn, create, share. You learn from the things that you share and that you give. Now, not everything's going to work for you, right? What works for me may not work for you, but I want to learn and consume and be like, ooh, I'm going to grab that. That looks like something that I could really learn to master and to use. So you don't have to use all the tools. That's the other problem. You guys are trying to use all the freaking tools. Pick one. right? At LPT, you get Chime as a free CRM. We're going to be offering more here real soon. But if Chime is something you want to do, right? Take that system. It's included. Mark talked about value, and learn Chime for 91 days. Go all in on that CRM, and then you can start adding other things to that.
I agree.
Sorry.
If you're changing brokerages because the brokerage is not helping you be successful, I would challenge you to, before you actually change brokerages, give yourself, like AJ said, 30, 60, 90 days to actually try to implement things that are offered to you. If you are at a brokerage right now that offers you tools and resources and training and marketing that you're not utilizing, simply switching brokerages is not going to fix that problem. The problem is not what is available to you. The problem is your implementation of what's available to you. And it comes back to the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different results. Like AJ said, if you've been at 5 different brokerages over the last 2 years and you keep getting the same results, it's likely not the brokerage. It's likely not the tools and resources that are being provided to you, but it's your implementation and your ability to then actually utilize those. So no matter where you are, I guarantee there are tools and resources that are available to you that you're not using. So start using them, right? We want you to be successful no matter where you're at. Do we believe that at LPT Realty, we offer more value, more tools, more training, more resources than almost any other brokerage out there at a way lower cost?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely, we do. We think we have the best brokerage model, but it doesn't mean that you can't get better results already where you're at. If you're stuck at 12 deals, I guarantee no matter what brokerage you're at, with enough time, energy, effort, you can double that to 24 over the next 12 months at any brokerage, even if they're giving you no support. Now, maybe that means you need to go out and find a coach and get some resources and help outside of your brokerage, but you can be successful anywhere. Is LBT going to make it a little bit easier for you to be successful and maybe help you add an extra 10 to 20 to 30% on top of what you're already doing? We think so. But you can be successful anywhere if you take advantage of the things that are provided to you. But also, like AJ said, you don't have to do everything. Find 1, 2 things that you can just go all in on and focus and not quit on, because all the tools, all the resources work if you work them. And the problem is we try things for 2 weeks or even 3 months. Maybe you try things for 2 months. If you start doing video and you post, 1 YouTube video a week for the next 2 months, are you going to get a deal from it? Maybe. I'm not saying you couldn't. But will you? The likelihood's not very good. And so would it be fair for you to then say, these guys said I should start doing video. I tried it. Doesn't work. I'm off to the next thing, right? Well, no. If you had stuck with that for 12 months, for 24 months, you would have seen massive results. I can almost guarantee you that you would, but it's going to take consistent action over and over and over again into one thing. And if you're trying to be the jack of all trades and the master of none in this business, I can tell you that's probably not, that works in some areas. Real estate's really not the one that works in. You need to, AJ says pick and stick, right? Pick something, stick with it, because it will work if you work it. But no matter where you're at right now, find the things that you're missing out on, right? Talk to your fellow agents. Like, hey, what tools, what resources are you guys using that are helping you get more leads, that are helping you close more deals? Figure out what those are and start plugging in. And like AJ said, find a community that you can plug in with, because this industry, even if you're a part of a brick and mortar brokerage, a lot of times you can feel like you're on an island, right? And when you're at a cloud-based brokerage like we are, if you're not willing to connect with other people, you will be on an island. Mm-hmm. And so that, again, is one of the reasons that people leave, is they feel like they're on an island. They're not. What they really did is they found a closet and they shut the door and they just don't let anybody in. And they don't. So you're not on an island. There's plenty of people out there that want to help you, but come out of that, that room that you're hiding in and start meeting people. Our Facebook page is a great place to do that. Once you join LPT Realty, there's a lot of great places to do that. So take advantage of the things that are available to you, and don't give up on yourself. Like, don't think that you don't have what it takes. It just takes more of the same repeatable actions over and over again. And like AJ said, turn that inspiration into perspiration, because the inspiration, I can tell you, will wear off pretty quickly. It's very easy to get excited. We see that happen when agents come to LPT all the time. They get very, very excited. They don't plug into the things that actually got them excited, right? They're excited about the listing power pack, but then they don't empty the box.
You mean it takes work?
Yeah, it takes work.
Shoot.
Yeah. So just remember that everything works if you work it, Every brokerage out there has tools and resources that you can take advantage of. We think we have more, but wherever you're at, take advantage of them, right? If you're in a state that we're not going to be in for the next 2 years, we can't help you here at LPT Realty, but where we can help you is we can have you plug into our Facebook page. We can provide you weekly motivation and tools and trainings and resources that you can use at your brokerage right now until we do open where you're at. So, I guess that's the biggest thing is again, like AJ said, it's a personal responsibility. You have to take responsibility for your results. And if you are blaming a brokerage or a sponsor or a partner or a team leader, whoever it is, for your shortcomings, that's the one thing you got to get fixed. Because if you keep that mentality wherever you go, you'll find that same thing. I'll give you a quick little story that I used to tell people when they were relocating to the city that I used to sell in. And they'd say, well, what are the people like here? And I'd ask them this simple question. Well, what are the people like where you were from? And I could tell them. And so, you'd have some people that are like, oh, well, the people where I live are rude and like no one wants to talk to you. The neighbors aren't friendly. Like it just kind of sucks. I will tell them, guess what? Most likely you're going to find the exact same thing here. But if that person tells me, oh my gosh, everyone is so kind and so welcoming and so helpful, guess what? You're probably going to find the same thing here. Right? You get out what you put in. And if you go into this expecting everyone to do things for you and they don't, you're going to be disappointed, right? But if you go in expecting that you're going to have to put in work and you can surround yourself with a group of people that are going to support you in doing that, you're going to feel very welcomed and you're probably going to do very well. So it's all about your mindset and your mental space when you join a brokerage. And so if you can come in with the right mindset, the right mental space, surround yourself with the right people and take the right actions, you will be successful.
I want to set some expectations. Awesome job, Mark. I'm about to drop you guys some fire and some truth here because I want to set expectations. First and foremost, I have no idea how long it's going to take for you to be successful. I only know what I've been through, what my experience is, and what worked for me. So let me give you an example of the truth of real estate, the truth of business, the truth of growing in any area is this. You have to pick and stick. You have to decide what is the vision, what's the goal, and what am I willing to do consistently for as long as it takes. Now, that doesn't mean that you do something that's not working forever, right? That is the definition of insanity, but things take time. Mark and I committed to 12 months to do this page. I don't think he remembers. Maybe you do remember that. I feel like we committed to 1 year. We're like, listen, we're going to just shoot content for a year and see what happens. We had pretty much zero results for the first 5-6 months. And I say zero, meaning we didn't have agents setting up calls with us. We weren't attracting agents. Like literally, we were just adding massive value. It was month 7 and 8 where things really started exploding. Things started creating momentum, right? It took us to continue to push through and do it. We didn't know how long it would take. We figured it would take less than a year, but we realized it took 7 and 8. And now, right, it's scaling faster. It's like a pyramid. When you build a pyramid, you have to build what first?
The foundation.
The foundation, the bottom. What is the biggest part of the pyramid? The bottom.
Yeah.
The bottom is the largest part. It takes the longest to put together. It takes the longest to build the foundation. But what happens as you keep going each level up the pyramid? It gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And so it actually builds faster and faster and faster. But it takes all this time in the bottom to build the foundation. You're never going to get to the top if you don't start from the bottom. You got to start with level 1 to get to level 10. You have to be so excited about the opportunity that you're willing to commit to it no matter what. The days that suck, the challenges, the struggles. Listen, life happens to you, right? You've got to continue to push on. I want to give you guys another example of this. One, we committed 12 months. We started seeing it work, right? We started seeing the results we wanted in months 7 and 8. When I first got started in the business, I was paid $12 an hour to cold call. That was my job when I got started. I fell in love with real estate. It was great. I was with one of the number 1 teams in the country for Century 21, okay? I used the brand name as an advantage to help me because I was inexperienced. Listen, when you're a big brand, one of the advantages is that they have experience. People know who they are, right? Like this is kind of old school because you don't necessarily need a big brand anymore. But this is what I used. I was like, listen, I'm with one of the top teams in the country. I'm with Century 21. People knew who they were. So I used my team's experience to substitute my experience as I grew. Now, I committed to cold calling at the time, and I do this in any area of life, where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to call. I need to create relationships. So I sat and called for hours. But here's what happens is I committed it to for the long term. But as I did it, I learned what worked. I learned what didn't work. And basically that's what I focused on. I didn't plug into any other systems. My broker, actually not my broker of the company added zero value to me. Zero. I'm just being honest. The broker added zero value. My team leader added massive value because he was there to answer my questions. He was there to inspire me. He was there to push me. He was there to say, you're doing a good job. He was there. I do this to Mark. And I do this to Damien too. I'm like, are we on the right track? Are we on the right track? Like, I surround myself with people that tell me, hey, you're on the right track. Keep doing what you're doing. You're going to get the results that you want to get. Now that cold calling, I learned to improve that over time, right? I mastered the art of being on the phone. I mastered the art of asking powerful questions. Like, basically I took that one skill, learned it, grew it, and then added value to it. At the time, I plugged into other people's systems, right? I was like, okay, I don't want to cold call for the rest of my life. I don't want to be strapped to a phone for 6 to 8 hours a day. I want to learn other areas. So I hired a coach. I hired somebody and he said, you need to go do this. And I said, okay. I committed to 12 months to that. I actually committed for as long as it took. I started seeing results in 12. In 18 months, I was on it every single day. It was Trulia before Zillow bought them. I was on it every single day. In 18 months, I was the #1 real estate agent on there after 18 months because I committed to a system. I mastered the system. I told people about the system. Same thing with brokerages, you guys. You have to pick something and commit to it for a period of time, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, and go all in on it. It's such an important lesson to learn and push through because why? The average person quits. When you think about quitting, when you think about leaving a brokerage, guess what? That's not the time to leave. That's the time to just ask yourself the question, why am I thinking this? Why should I quit? What am I not taking advantage of? Where do I need to improve? Where do I need to grow? Because here's one thing I'll tell you. When you switch brokerages, I want you to understand, if you're doing any sort of business, you almost guarantee that you're going to lose somewhere between 10 and 20% of your business over the next 12 months. Why? Because it takes time to transition, right? You got to take time to change your branding, to change your marketing, to learn new systems. So there is a risk involved when you switch. But is the opportunity too good not to do it, right? It just because you may lose 10, 20% in the first year, guess what? Does that mean you could double your business the second year? Does that mean there's amazing opportunity? Listen, we saw the opportunity with LPT right away. I wasn't worried about going down. Why? Because I saw a larger opportunity long-term and they were adding way more value to agents. So I have a heart of helping, of serving people. And one of the things that I love about LPT Realty is there's so much value that they give you at an extremely low cost, right? New agents, no upfront money, no monthly cost. Like literally you only pay when you close deals. How cool is that? But if you're not plugging in, if you're not getting support, if you're not using the tools, if you're not learning from me, from Mark, from any other person, if somebody tells you what to do and they have what you want and you don't do it, that's on you. That's not on them, right? So you have to take a moment and say, you know what? It's time for me to look in the mirror. It's time for me to take personal responsibility. It's time for me to choose a brokerage, whether it's the one that you're at or a new one, and go all in on that. You have to fall in love with that brokerage. You guys, listen, it took me some time to get to that point. I wasn't all in on LPT when I first joined, but after I learned the systems, after I got involved, after I met Robert Palmer, after Mark and I partnered up, right? This is really exciting for me. This is one of the reasons that I'm excited is because of this beautiful opportunity to share with you. It just adds. It creates more momentum, more excitement, which creates more result, which gets you farther to the top of the pyramid.
How long does it take to get in shape? Can you answer that question? Because is it
forever? I don't know.
How long does it take to get in shape? I don't know. It's different for me. It's different for you. It's different for AJ. When you go to the gym every day, let's say you decide you want to get in shape and you start going to the gym and you go spend an hour a day at the gym. When you get home from the gym and you look in the mirror, are you in any better shape than when you left? No. You can look in the mirror before and after you work out. You're going to look the same. And tomorrow, you're going to look the same. And the next day, you're going to look the same. And every single day, if you keep putting in the work, you're going to go there and you're going to put in all this effort, all of this time, and you're, in your mind, going to look exactly the way that you did when you're done as when you started. However, what happens
3 months.
in 3 months,
3 months, yeah.
and 6 months down the road when you see a picture of yourself or someone says, man, you look like you've been working out.
Other people notice first.
You never saw any of that progress. You never felt any of that progress. Maybe you got a little bit stronger, and maybe your pants started to fit a little bit differently. But I can't tell you how long it's going to take for that to happen. A lot of it's going to depend on how consistent you are and how much time you're willing to spend doing it. And I can tell you that almost every single day you're going to put in time, you're going to put in effort, and you're essentially going to see no results in the short term. But in the long term, what we do know is that if you do those actions consistently over time, 100% of the time it works. 100% of the time, if you go to the gym every single day and exercise, 100% of the time you will get in better shape, and you will not see it at all during the entire process, but we know it works. Real estate is the exact same way. Almost everything you do in life that's worth doing is the exact same way. You're going to put in time, you're going to put in effort every day, and you're not going to see the results in the short term. But if you continue to do those things, you continue to take the right action steps over and over again, even though you're not seeing results eventually, 3 months, 6 months, I don't know what that time is for you. Again, part of that's your input. But what I do know is that 100% of the time it works. What I do know, if you join LPT Realty, you join another brokerage, and you truly take advantage of the systems, the tools, the resources that they have every single day, when you end that day, are you going to see any noticeable progress from when you started that day? Probably not. But 30, 60, 90 days, a year, 2 years, you're going to see massive results. So try to forget about the short term. Just understand that if you take the right inputs in things that have been proven to work 100% over and over and over again, if you do the right action steps over a long enough period of time, you will be successful. Now, my recommendation is, if you're going to go spend that time in the gym, spend your time doing the most productive exercises that you can do. If you're going to spend time at a real estate brokerage, spend time at a brokerage that's giving you the most tools and resources that could be available to you. So the principles don't change though. Wherever you are, take the right action steps consistently over time, and 100% of the time it does work if you work.
Follow the process, not like fall in love with the process, not the result. Did you ever watch Biggest Loser? So if you've ever watched Biggest Loser, one of the funny things that this really reminded me, it's kind of very similar, where go there for camp forever long, it goes, and then they basically, it's like Survivor, right? They start with 12 and then, okay, you're out, and then you're out. Well, one of the things that I used to love is that every once in a while they would find like a hidden bag of cookies or a hidden bag of chips, right? That these people were cheating, basically. Like literally they would be going on the scale and they'd be doing all these workouts, but they weren't seeing a difference in the scale. And the coaches were like, okay, this is impossible. Like there's absolutely no way, if you're following our nutrition, if you're following our plan, if you're following the systems, that you should not be losing weight right now. And then they would go do a search and they would find these snacks. What is your distraction? What is it that you're doing that you're not supposed to be doing? Focus on, fall in love with the process, learn the details, find a mentor. Make sure you join a community, you guys. You don't have to do this alone. All right. If you feel alone, then you need to plug into a team, plug into a group, plug into somewhere that inspires you and helps you and keeps you accountable. You need somebody to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, and vice versa. You need to be doing this with your clients, right? You need to be learning how to do this in order to negotiate and actually take care of people. You guys, this has been awesome. I hope that you realize and really understand the value of plugging in after this, that we've painted a picture, a vision that has kind of given you a little bit more confidence to be like, you know what? I'm going to plug in. I'm going to get more involved. But commit to it, you guys. Give it a chance. Give it a long-term chance. Whatever you commit to, I would suggest give it a year and actually commit to it. Do the work. Fight through the struggle. Because guess what? At the end of this, there is a light. At the end of this, there is results. At the end of this, you can be in better shape. At the end of this, you could be making more money. I've seen it. It's amazing when you just put your head down, do the work, stay inspired, stay committed, and then you'll finally see the results.
Guys, hope you took something away from this. If you found some inspiration in this, find a way to turn that inspiration into perspiration, right? Don't just watch this video and feel good about yourself and then go back to doing the exact same thing that you've been doing. That'll be the number one mistake that people will make. And we know that 90+% of the people who watch this video will do exactly that. But what we are hoping is that for the 10% of you out there who want to get the results and are willing to put in the work, that you can take from this what we've just given you and put it into action, because that is the only way that you're going to get anything out of what we just spent the last half hour talking about. So for the 10% of you who are willing to do that, we love you. God bless you. If you want to partner with us, schedule a call with us down in the description below, and we're also going to leave a link to our Elevated Agents Facebook page. No matter what brokerage you're at, no matter where you're at in your real estate journey, if you just got licensed, if you've been in the business for 20 years, we want to have you as a part of our community so we can continue to share value across all the people who are in our industry and make sure that real estate agents in general are being successful no matter where they're at. So take something from this, put some action steps in place, and we want to hear your results.
Woo, let's grow, baby.
Awesome. We'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching, and be well.